Well, hello my fellow friends, YouTubers, and of course you all know the drill. Shh, no family. I'll take off my glasses because there's an annoying little flare. But yeah, it's been a while, and I kinda had some problems with an editing program. I don't know if this is going to be able to edit, so if it's up, you're lucky. But today I wanted to talk about some parts of my life that aren't all that cheerful. This was inspired by Bria and Chrissy's video, My Suicide Story. And I wanted to talk about some factors that led to my suicidal attempts and my actual suicidal attempts as well. And I want to just talk to you about it and tell you why I did it and how I felt at the moment, at the time, and how I feel at the moment. Let's begin with the beginning. As you all know, or most likely know, I have autism. I have been diagnosed at age 7. Sorry. I was diagnosed at age 7. And before that, I got bullied. After that, I got bullied as well, but what you gonna do about it? But the fact is, I've been depressed ever since I've known I had autism, and because of the bullying and all that. And that kind of led to me having depressive and suicidal thoughts from a very, very early age. And I was 12 when I had my first attempt to take my own life. When I was 12, I was in a very bad state, and I kind of felt like I didn't, belong on this earth, that I hurt everyone, I wasn't cut out for life. And I was talking to someone I knew from school on MSN. That was a long time ago. Sorry for the smell, but it's just, wow, MSN, I'm getting old. But I was talking to someone on MSN, and I was like, you know what, I'm just done. I don't want to do this anymore, I don't want to live anymore. And I decided to cut my wrists. But the problem was that my parents were downstairs watching television, so I couldn't get to the knives. That was a problem for me at the moment. Why do I keep saying at the moment? At the time. And I decided to try and cut my wrist with a scissor, and I proceeded to do that. All of a sudden, my parents burst in the room. They see what I'm doing, and of course they totally freak out, like, what the hell are you doing? I kind of broke down and explained why I didn't want to do this anymore and everything. But as it turns out, the girl I was telling on MSN, like, I don't want to do this anymore, she panicked. She went to her parents. Her parents contacted someone from school, and that person contacted my mentor, and she called my parents. I kind of felt like I wasn't happy with the intervention, because I just literally wanted to die. That's not good, especially not when you're 12. But ever since that moment, I have not felt that I live for myself. I feel, even to this day, and I'm trying to, change that train of thought I have, but I feel like I have no right to live for myself. I have no right to choose my own happiness. I feel like I have to put everyone else in front of me and make sure they're happy. And that is a train of thought that I still have to this day. I never really got out of my depression. I never really got diagnosed with it either. And I kinda, as you all know, my dad passed away in 2008, and that for me was like the drop that, like, crashed the bucket. I don't know what the English phrase is, but In the Netherlands we have a saying, de druppel die de emmer doet overlopen. And it means like you have a bucket that's completely filled to the rim. There's a little droplet that falls and it just spills over the edge. That's basically what happened with my mental stability and all that when my dad passed away. And from that moment, that suicidal attempt, I have a lot more memories because I was older and hadn't suppressed so much. But I remember being in like an emergency home because I couldn't live at home because my mom was somewhere else, like caring for my dad. And I was a broken man, even though I was only 17. But I remember sitting in the room where I was, just listening to Metallica, Fade to Black, on my phone. And I kind of felt myself sinking deeper and deeper, and everything was starting to overwhelm me, and I couldn't do it anymore. So I decided to get up. I got my bicycle and I drove to the train tracks. And I kind of stood at the train tracks hesitating, and someone saw me, and I assumed they called the cops, because the cops showed up with the counselors from the place I was living in, and they tried to talk me out of it, and I wasn't gonna have it. But during the time I was there, I also called my holiday mom, completely broken, and said to her that I didn't want to go on anymore. And she got scared, of course. I mean, she cares a great deal about me, as I do about her. And it was just not a good situation. The cops ended up arresting me. Well, not technically arresting me, but they pulled me away from the train tracks, they handcuffed me and put me in the back of the cop car. They put me in like a little holding cell, and they called the crisis center from the Dutch mental health care department. And at the moment, crap, here I go again with at the moment. I'm sorry guys, I'll probably get this right at the end of the video. But at that time, I was being treated by several specialists, like for autism, depression, and all that shit. And the crisis, center came and they were like, well, you need to talk to us. And I was stubborn. I was like, no, you have my wallet. There are the names and numbers of every person and counselor that are helping me at the moment. You can talk to them about me. I have nothing to say to you. So they kind of placed me under what's called an IBS in the Netherlands, and that means inbewaringstelling. And there's not really an English word for it, but the principle is as follows. You are involuntarily locked away in a mental health care facility, and in 5 work days, a judge has to rule whether you get an extension by 3 weeks or whether you don't get an extension, and then you're free to go. Well, I got admitted in a psych ward. The judge came and she was like, well, how do you feel now? I was like, I still feel like shit. She asked me, well, are you a danger to yourself or others? I'm like, I will always be a danger to myself and others because I just don't trust myself. But I know I need help. So I don't care what you do. I'm staying here anyways. And she then asked my mom about me and whether I would live up to the promise I made that I wasn't going to go anywhere until I was completely helped and cured. My mom confirmed it because she knows me. And by the way, Mom, I love you. just so you know. And basically I spent a year in a psych ward. I got better from my suicidal thoughts. And yeah, that's not the end of it. There's a whole lot more. I'm still in therapy for a lot of things. And yes, I do have my days that I kind of feel like I want to die. I do have those. I believe, and this may sound wrong, and you may not agree at all, or you may agree a little bit. This is just my opinion, but I believe if you ever had suicidal thoughts, you never fully get rid of them. It's always something, for me at least, that lingers in the back of my mind. And it's something that I have to fight constantly. And basically, right now I'm doing a lot better. I have my off days, I have my good days. But I'm still looking forward to the day where I can say, well, I'm living for my own. So guys, this was my suicide story. As you can see, I'm not doing all that bad. I kind of look pretty decent right now. Half decent, seeing as it's midnight. I need to go to sleep. But I want to thank you for watching, and don't worry about me. This little noggin is pretty good, and I'm not gonna do anything stupid. So guys, this is me, the Hellemander, aka Wes, Westerton, Wesmeister, Wesmando, or DJ Hell, saying I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Alright?